On the news, Tinubu orders NNPCL to sell crude to Dangote Refinery in naira. NNPCL blames tightness in petrol supply and distribution as queues resurface. And CSOs defend right to protest amid looming demonstration. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Atikun. Following the recent face-off over crude supply to the Dangote Refinery, President Bola Tinubu has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited to sell crude to Dangote in naira. This is part of decisions made at the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting on Monday. The chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zak Adedeji, who disclosed this after the FEC meeting chaired by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja, disclosed the council has approved the 450,000 barrels meant for domestic consumption be offered in naira to Nigerian refineries using the Dangote Refinery as a pilot. Adedeji says the measure would reduce the strain on the country's foreign spending and stabilize the pump price of petrol, diesel, and other products in Nigeria. The FIRS boss further disclosed that FEC has ordered the state-owned NNPCL immediately begin the full implementation of the directive to boost local production of refined petroleum products in the country.
Today at Federal Executive Council meeting, there was a memo prepared by Mr. President, which is to promote the trade of crude oil within local refineries and Nigeria Petroleum Company, which is NNPC, to deal in our local currency. In attitude of Mr. President to actually think out of box to solve a Nigeria problem and actually to localize the solution to Nigeria problem. He has approved through the council that effective immediately that NNPC get engaged with local refineries, and we are starting that with Dangote Refinery, that the sales of crude oil to Dangote Refinery be denominated in naira, and also the sales of refined products from Dangote Refinery to marketer and distributors also should be conducted in naira. And what does this mean to our economy? One, the pressure on foreign exchange rate today will be reduced. Today, you may be aware that we spend roughly 30 to 40% of our foreign exchange today on importation of PMS that we consume. And in monetary terms, monthly, we spend roughly $660 million in these exercise. And if you annualize that, that one will give us $7.92 billion pressure that we have. With this approval today through FEC, led by Mr. President, this has reduced by minimum of 90%, because what you have today will be this transaction is now done in our local currency, not only with Dangote Refinery, for all local refineries, for all our local consumption. And this one will actually stabilize the price, pump price. This one also will make the economic predictability a reality, because we will no longer rely on the fluctuation that happens in Forex.
Well, let's discuss this further. I'm now joined by oil and gas expert Dave Ire. Thank you, sir, for your time. Now, what are the potential economic implications of selling crude oil to Dangote Refinery in naira instead of dollars?
Yeah, thank you. Getting that news that Dangote have been, the NNPC have been directed to sell crude oil to Dangote in naira. Yeah, it has some far-reaching implications. First, yes, it will help stabilize the price of refined petroleum products in Nigeria, because now the landing cost is about 1,117 naira per barrel, and they are selling between 600 and 568 from NNPC to 800 in the east and north. It will help stabilize the price. But the other aspect of it is that looking at it will reduce the impact on the foreign exchange usage, because the money they will be using to import refined petroleum products in dollars will no longer be used, since we can get the supply in Nigeria, locally in Nigeria. But not the one important thing we must note is that it's going to affect the inflow of foreign currency, especially the dollar, to Nigeria, to our country, Nigeria, and that will put more pressure on the exchange rate. I don't see it reducing the exchange rates that we currently have right now. It increase it because the proceeds from the oil, which is used to fund the foreign exchange market, will reduce when we do this. But remember, let's remember one thing, that this is binding on the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, is not binding on the international oil companies, the IOCs.
Now, is this move likely to affect Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves and Naira's exchange rate stability? And how is it going to, what impact will they have on the pump price of refined fuel in the country?
Yes, it will affect the foreign exchange because the supply of dollars will be reduced. Though it's currently reduced because of the country have taken and they use the crude to pay in advance. But it's going to further reduce the supply of dollar in the market. And when there is less supply and there's high demand, prices will go up, which means the exchange price might likely go up because we will not have enough supply of dollars. And it will equally affect the foreign reserve, because most of our foreign exchange earning, majority, almost 90-something%, is from crude oil sales. Yes, it will affect the pump price. It will reduce the pump price, not current pump price. It will reduce the landing cost. Like I said earlier, the landing cost is about 1,117 naira per barrel, and they are selling at 600 and something, 700 and 800, depending on the part of the country where you are. If we want to be realistic, the pump price of petroleum product like PMS is more than what they are selling currently. So it will reduce the cost of bringing it in, because it will eliminate the logistics costs, the freight and other associated logistics costs.
Well, the NOLA gas expert, David, thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts on this development. Moving on, long queues have resurfaced at filling stations nationwide as citizens lament the scarcity of petrol. In some parts of Lagos and Abuja, several filling stations are short, while the few attending to customers are selling at higher prices. Our correspondent, Chidi Igwe, has this situation report.
Long queues like this have become common sight at filling stations across Lagos in the past 1 week. And every passing day, the scarcity bites harder. And as always the case, transport fares have gone up. This situation has also caused traffic gridlocks in the city, with many service lanes blocked. Black marketers have expectedly taken advantage of the situation, hawking petrol in jerry cans to desperate motorists for as high as 1,500 naira per litre.
I'm surprised that I just came out yesterday and I'm seeing queues everywhere. I've been here for like an hour now. And the price of fuel has been changing like gradually, quietly too. I used to buy 610, saw 615. Today it's now 620. And nobody's telling us anything why the price is going up and why there is queue. So we're just living in a state of, we don't know what's going on. We're just following with the trend.
As of Saturday, in my street area there, they do sell for 720. Some areas do say 820, 840. But doing things out of hand, but it's quite different in any way. That from here to Apapa now, you cannot get filling station that is selling fuel.
What is the president doing? He's the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of our country, of Nigeria. As in, he should wake up to, to deal with whoever that is causing all the glitches that is happening in the value chain in the oil sector. We know that it's cabal that are responsible to all this. He should wake up to his duty, his responsibility. He said he's going to do it. For this is this is 1.5 years. President Tinubu has not done anything. Price inflation, all the indices, he's already failing.
Please, you guys need to do something. I don't know whatever it is that you people are doing wrong, but you guys need to sit down and re-strategize and replan and Dangote, I heard something about Dangote's fuel. There's an issue with Dangote. They need to sort all these things out so we can move forward with our lives and our daily activities.
It's a similar situation in Abuja as many filling stations along Yanya Airport Road and Kubwa Expressway are jammed, with drivers scrambling to get petrol for their vehicles. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and oil marketers have attributed the petrol scarcity to supply chain disruption, but some residents say there is a lack of political will to address the persistent problem.
Actually, we are used to it. Someday we just wake up, we see queue without any explanation. So we don't even know what called the first scarcity. Nobody know. By this time last week I bought fuel. There's no queue. But just within last week we saw queue.
Actually, I went to NNPC. Up there, the queue there is something else. I had to just come down here. And I've been here for like 20 minutes now. Let me see how it will be if I can get fuel for today.
I was just surprised this morning because yesterday my dad was telling me because of this issue of protest and the rest that there will be scarcity. Even me, I was arguing with him that there's no need to be fuel scarcity. But since last week, this something started lingering because I think I bought fuel a liter at this fuel station here inside town, 780 last week. But this morning I was shocked, driving all the way from Nyanya coming to town. There's no filling station that was opened.
The NNPC Limited says it's working hard to address the problem and ensure normal supply resumes soon. But how soon that happens is difficult to tell.
37 civil society organizations have reaffirmed the fundamental right of citizens to peaceful protest as a fundamental pillar of democratic governance in light of recent events and ongoing discussions surrounding the appropriateness to express their dissatisfaction with government policies and actions. The CSOs gave the reaffirmation in a statement issued on Monday. Part of the statement reads, while the right to protest is a fundamental principle of democratic nations, we concede that it must be exercised peacefully and responsibly without violating the rights of others. Accordingly, we urge all parties engaged, including protest organizers, participants and law enforcement agencies to prioritize the safety and the rule of law. Law enforcement has a duty to safeguard protesters while upholding public order. Demonstrators must avoid activities that might exacerbate tensions, cause unrest, or threaten public safety. The statement adds that attempts to suppress demonstrations through intimidation, excessive use of force, or unjust legal actions are unacceptable and counterproductive, adding that it is the role of appropriate government agencies to identify such saboteurs and arrest them immediately. The CSOs further urged the Nigerian judiciary and the National Human Rights Commission to uphold the rights of all protesters and establish a mechanism to promptly address and dismiss oppressive charges that may arise from these protests. A 50-year-old Spain-based businessman, Francis Akajiobi, has been arrested by personnel of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the departure hall of Terminal 2 of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In the statement, the agency spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, said parcels of cocaine weighing 1.20 kilograms were discovered in Akajiobi's pair of sandals while attempting to board his Royal Air Maroc flight to Madrid, Spain on Thursday, July 25. The arrest is one of many made by the agency. Recently, TV360's Victoria Conde completes the story.
During his preliminary interview with the NDLEA, Francis Akajiobi claimed the consignment was delivered to him at a bar in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and he was to deliver it to his friend and neighbor in Spain for a fee of 5,000 euros upon successful delivery to the recipient. Both parcels of cocaine were concealed in the soles of a pair of black sandals Akajiobi was wearing to board his flight when NDLEA operatives intercepted him. Another suspect, Makinde Sadiq Lekon, was arrested following the seizure of 99 packages of Canadian loud weighing 51.6 kilograms at the Lagos Airport Sako import shed via a Turkish Airlines flight from Canada with a layover in Istanbul, Turkey. The agency also arrested a tramadol syndicate kingpin, Chukwuemeka Obodozie, in Lagos and intercepted bandit supplier Obaida Aliyu in Kaduna with 573 rounds of live ammunition. While Samson Ifeanyi was nabbed same day by officers on patrol along Okene-Lokoja Expressway with 200 blocks of compressed cannabis sativa weighing over 10 kilograms. In a separate operation, NLEA operatives destroyed a cannabis farm in Osun State, arresting 17 suspects and seizing 31,600 kilograms of cannabis. On Thursday, the 25th of July, two other suspects, Suleiman Gaya and Ibrahim Bello, were arrested with 315 blocks of cannabis sativa weighing over 204 kilograms along Maiduguri bypass, Bauchi town. While commending the officers and men of Special Operations Unit in Lagos, Osun, Bauchi, Kogi, Seme and Kaduna commands for the arrests and seizures, the chairman and chief executive officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, expressed satisfaction in the balance of their drug supply reduction efforts with drug demand reduction activities, while urging them not to rest on their oars in their continued fight against drug cartels. Victoria Akonde, TV360 Lagos.
In commemoration of this year's World Hepatitis Day, health experts have weighed in on the critical steps needed to combat hepatitis globally. According to the World Health Organization and partners across the globe, this year's World Hepatitis Day theme, "It's Time for Action," underscores the urgent need for swift and decisive measures to tackle hepatitis and eliminate the liver inflammatory disease by 2030. This call to action is reinforced by the alarming statistic that a person dies from a hepatitis-related illness every 30 seconds. TV360's Oge Kwekwe completes the story.
5 main strains of hepatitis virus A, B, C, D, and E are responsible for the majority of cases, which can be fatal. Hepatitis B and C is the most common, accounting for over 90% of hepatitis-related deaths. Chronic hepatitis infection can lead to severe health issues, including cirrhosis, liver cancer, and liver failure. According to WHO estimates, approximately 325 million people worldwide live with chronic hepatitis, and over 1.3 million deaths occur annually due to hepatitis-related complications. Speaking on the challenges in eradicating hepatitis globally, public health physician Oluwayemisi Adegboye attributes its prevalence among low-income populations due to lack of adequate sanitation, clean water, and proper toilet system, which contributes significantly to the spread in such areas.
In case somebody that has hepatitis injures themselves, and you also use that same instrument, brush or something, and use it, you can also get infected. So it is very important for everyone to just be careful. And if you may need blood transfusion, just ensure that it is well screened before it's given to you. Also, some people also get it even mostly by healthcare workers when there's needle prick injury. Maybe a patient has hepatitis B and then the needles are not properly well taken care of, or other instruments, the healthcare workers can also be at risk.
On his part, the National Coordinator Civil Society Network on Viral Hepatitis in Nigeria, Isiabasi Ekane, urged governments and other stakeholders to support and implement hepatitis elimination activities, including increased funding, to ensure that patients living with hepatitis have access to diagnosis and treatment, while also providing vaccination opportunities for unaffected persons.
It will interest you to know that the Nigerian or the National Health Insurance Scheme in Nigeria does not cover the cascade of care for viral hepatitis. This is very sad, considering the fact that viral hepatitis kills more people than HIV, and even more people than tuberculosis, and even more people than malaria. Yet there is nothing, no financial commitment from the government towards eliminating this very big threat, which is why viral hepatitis remains a public health threat. So why do we keep talking when it is time for us to start acting. The government should ensure that the National Health Insurance Scheme covers the entire cascade of care, from the diagnosis to the treatment to the vaccination. We must ensure that universal birth dose vaccine for viral hepatitis gets to the last mile.
Experts say education, communication, information and sensitization are not one-time efforts but continuous processes. These activities are crucial in raising awareness about hepatitis, serving as a reminder of the importance of combating these diseases to avoid significant mortality globally. Ogechukwu Kekwe, TV360, Lagos.
We'll take a break now, but coming up, U.S. presidential candidate Kamala Harris' campaign raises $200 million in a week. We'll give you details when we return. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. Following the recent face-off over crude supply to the Dangote Refinery, President Bola Tinubu has directed the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to sell crude to Dangote in naira. This is part of decisions made at the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting on Monday. The chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, who disclosed this after the FEC meeting chaired by President Tinubu in Abuja, disclosed the council has approved the 450,000 barrels meant for domestic consumption offered in naira to Nigerian refineries using the Dangote Refinery as a pilot. We also told you that 37 civil society organizations have reaffirmed the fundamental right of citizens to peaceful protest as a fundamental pillar of democratic governance in light of recent events and the ongoing discussions surrounding the appropriateness to express their dissatisfaction with government policies and actions. The CSOs gave the reaffirmation in a statement issued on Monday. They urged the Nigerian Judiciary and the National Human Rights Commission to uphold the right of all protesters and establish a mechanism to promptly address and dismiss oppressive charges that may arise from this protest and arrest saboteurs immediately. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Well, let's get more stories in the world of business from Joy Chejim. Over to you, Joy.
Thank you, Simi, and welcome to Business News. The federal government has raised about 4.13 trillion naira from bonds in the first half of 2024. This was revealed in the FMDQ Exchange Financial Markets Monthly Report for June 2024. The value of new issuance of FPM bonds for June, which was 297.01 billion naira, was the lowest in 6 months, and the highest was 1.49 trillion naira in February. Speaking at an interactive session with primary dealer market makers in Lagos, the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, disclosed that domestic securities remain the major source of federal government spending. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, says Nigeria plans to issue a diaspora bond of up to $500 million as part of its strategy to stabilize and grow the economy. Still on business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has clarified that only accounts that have been inactive for over 10 years are eligible to be classified as dormant and will be used for investment purposes. It also announced that a dedicated office will be created to manage dormant accounts and unclaimed balances. The Apex Bank disclosed this in its recently issued document posted on its website after it had earlier disclosed that it might invest funds from dormant accounts, unclaimed balances in Nigerian treasury bills and other government securities. According to the Apex Bank, it will manage these funds in trust, refunding the principal and any accrued interest to beneficiaries within 10 working days of receiving a reclaim request from the financial institution. We'll take a short break and return with stock market reports. Welcome back. Nigeria's stock market kicked off the week on a low as investors were busy offloading shares of Transco, Caverton Offshore Support, Nemeth, and Coronation Insurance. Now, on the downside, Caverton Offshore Support Group took the biggest hit, dropping 10% to trade at 1 naira 35 kobo. Now, WAPIC Insurance was not far behind. And by the end of the first trading day on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, a whopping 379 million shares were traded in 10,096 deals, adding up to a market value of 8.7 billion naira. Now, on the global front, markets were up in the green as shares of listed cryptocurrency firms surged on Monday. This came after Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump hyped up Bitcoin and promised friendlier regulations for the industry. Now, switching over to the Forex, the Naira took another hit, trading at 1,600 Naira to a dollar on the black market. The British pounds were going for 2,060 Naira, while the euros traded at 1,750 Naira on the black market. That's of our business and stock market reports. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Joy. And on the foreign scene, United States Vice President Kamala Harris' campaign has raised $200 million since President Joe Biden announced his exit from the presidential election race and endorsed her as his successor. The campaign, which announced its latest fundraising total on Sunday, said the bulk of the donations, 66%, came from first-time contributors in the 2024 election cycle. Over 170,000 volunteers have also signed up to help the Harris campaign with phone banking, canvassing, and other get-out-the-vote efforts. Finally, on sport, Nigeria's the Tigers have made a remarkable start to their Paris 2024 Olympics campaign, defeating the highly ranked Australian team, the Opals, in their opening game of the women's basketball tournament. The Nigerian team won the match 75-62 at the Pierre Marat Stadium in Lille, France on Monday, July 29. Monday's win is Nigeria's second victory in the women's Olympic basketball tournament after the win in 2004 when they beat South Korea 68-64. This is, however, the Tigers' maiden win in 9 preliminary rounds. Nigeria is now the first African country to have defeated Australia in 12 games at the World Cup and Olympics. Salon Sports, Eurosport commentator Bob Ballard has been removed from the broadcaster's Olympics coverage after making a sexist remark. Ballard made the comment about Australia's swimmers after they won the women's 4x100 meters freestyle relay gold on Saturday. The clip quickly went viral and broadcaster Eurosport later said he had been removed from the commentary lineup. On Monday, Ballard posted an apology after his dismissal for his sexist comment during commentary. Well, that's all on News Now. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.